this phrase tax the rich, it's not just about taking rich people's money because they don't deserve it. It's about freeing up demand in the economy and freeing up resources in the economy for the things that the rest of us actually want.
Correct. Yeah. I think this is crucial because people have this idea that money is just like almost abstract credits. And so it doesn't really matter if somebody has $1 billion or $1 trillion or whatever, right? But it actually really does matter because the more money you have, the more command you have over labor. This is crucial. Money is command over labor. And so people that have lots of money can command our labor to do the things that they want to do, which is why we have a situation where we are going around building mansions for rich people and curating their lawns and building yachts for them, et cetera, completely mad, right? And so
going to Mars because some rich guy wants to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're commanding our labor to do these things. So the purpose of taxing the rich is not so that we can fund public services, right? I mean, this is crucial because the state funds public services directly by issuing currency. The purpose of taxation is to reduce the demands of the rich on our labor and productive capacities so that we can do the things that we as people, as a democratic society, believe should be done. And of course, the other reason is because rich people completely corrupt our society and our democratic processes. It's in fact not even possible for us to have a functioning democracy when billionaires own our press and can rig elections by using campaign finance, just outright buying politicians openly, right? I mean, it's totally mad. And so you want to tax rich people to reduce their ability to corrupt our society so that we can have what we all believe is important, and that is a democracy. So there's very good reasons to tax rich people, but we don't normally talk about what those reasons really are. We're stuck in this fantasy that we have to tax rich people in order to pay for public services, when that's not in fact what the key objective is.
This is where you actually need the ability of a state to print money and finance things in order to implement this type of solution. When people think about the state, they sometimes they're like, okay, in 1984, the state's going to have so much control over everything. We don't want that type of authoritarianism. We prefer freedom. But it's really a government working for the people that allows for freedom. Is that how you see it?
Correct, yeah. I mean, to the authoritarian, there's so much to say about the state here. The first important thing to notice is that for people to think like, oh, there's some kind of antagonism between capital and the state. No. I mean, can you see the state is totally captured by capital? And so the investments the state is making are investments that are paving the way for profitability for capital, right? I mean, the weapons industry is an amazing example of this. The state can control the weapons industry, and what they do is they just facilitate massive transfers of our surplus into the pockets of the billionaires that control the weapons industry. It's totally mad. So the state is is a neutral phenomenon. I mean, the state,
sort of like technology, like you mentioned.
The state does whatever is determined by the people that control it. And right now it is controlled overwhelmingly by capital and the stooges of capital. Let's call it the ruling class. Just a term I plucked out of the ether. And what's funny to me is that this is in fact dictatorial. We live in an autocracy already, where we don't have control over our productive capacities. The state does, and the state is controlled by capital and billionaires who get to use its apparatus for their own interests. I mean, if you think that this represents freedom, I mean, this is totally illusionary, right?
Yeah.
And so the key is we want to assert democratic control over the state apparatus, and so it can do the things that we need. And you're absolutely right. The key power comes down to money creation. And this idea that can we fund the things that we need to do, the job guarantee and renewable energy, et cetera. This is the crucial thing to understand, is that there are no financial limits on the state's ability to fund these things, because the state is a currency issuer. The state issues currency, which can mobilize labor to do things, and it can pay people to do whatever it wants, right? You want to build renewable energy capacity, we can fund that. You want to build hospitals and affordable housing, we can fund that. No limitations. The only actual real world limitation is, of course, inflation.
Yeah, preventing that from happening, preventing inflation. Right?
Exactly, yeah. And so inflation basically occurs if we're doing a bunch of new public production, if there's limitations on the real productive capacity of the economy, not enough resources and labor in factories, this is going to cause competition for these resources and drive prices up. That's inflation. And so what you have to do is you have to somehow mitigate that excess demand. And the obvious way to do that is, there's two mechanisms. One is by taxing the rich, which basically reduces the demand of rich people on our productive capacity. And the other is through degrowing unnecessary industries.
Right.
And so if we want to increase our production of affordable housing and solar panels, let's say, then to do this in a way that is non-inflationary, you also want to reduce production of SUVs and fast fashion. And therefore, you're liberating real resources that can be remobilized around what you want to do. And so this is a power that states have. And this power should not be in control of capitalists. It should be in control of the people.